Hello, and welcome to the podcast. I am Kilobyte with my co-host here.
Hi, I'm Onyx.
And I'm Clickbait.
And on today's special episode, we have another fantastic guest with us, Jessica DiGiovanni, the voice of Windblade from Cyberverse series. Thank you so much for being here, Jessica.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure.
We're excited to talk with you and get to know you a little bit.
Very excited.
Yes, very much.
Same.
So if we're ready to start, I'll go with the first question. Let's start with you telling us a little bit about yourself.
Okay. Well, I love food. I love eating and trying different food from all different places around the world. Like when I travel, that's one of my favorite things to do is try the cuisine. I love doing stuff outdoors, like hiking and seeing different parts of the world. I haven't done it in a while, so I'm like itching. So maybe that's why that's my first thing that I'm saying. Because I'm originally from the Midwest, and Chicago's a great city, but it doesn't have, the mountains and the ocean and things like that. So I've always craved seeing more of the earth. What else? Yeah. I don't know. What else do I say?
No, that's
I
fantastic.
don't know. I don't love doing the whole like, I'm originally from here and this is how I got into this because I feel like that's kind of boring. So I always try to think of, yeah, I always try to think of, things about me that people wouldn't necessarily know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love being around my family. And that's one of the most important things to me is family. And I'm aspiring to get a dog, so eventually I want a dog in my life.
Oh, that's
Oh,
cute.
these are so
I
cute.
Very
know.
adorable.
I know,
Do
but I
you
need
have
to
a
have a more
specific dog in
steady
mind?
schedule. It's gonna have to be hyperallergenic and like not shed a lot.
There you go.
That's the only requirement. We already have two cats and it's like too much hair and I can only deal with so much hair. I think adding another pet with a lot of shedding would be too much for me. And also my mom's like allergic to that, so I want her to be able to come visit. So,
Of course, yeah.
yeah. So that's a
Nice.
little bit about me, something different.
Yeah.
That's a great start. That's a great
Yeah,
start.
perfect.
Yeah.
I think moving on to our next question, what first brought you into the world of Transformers? If it was anything specific, maybe a show, comic series, or a specific character.
Yeah, so I think it was initially those, big blockbuster movies, the Mark Wahlberg, Shia LaBeouf ones. I love an action movie. Who doesn't? But
Right, of course.
yeah. But the parts of Windblade NRC came to me through auditioning, and I really honestly did not know that much about Transformers, but I really enjoyed learning about the world of Transformers, and I love the idea of the Allspark and what they're fighting for, what the Autobots are fighting for. I also really liked the idea of Windblade being a city speaker. That was a really cool discovery for me as well. It sort of
hmm
makes me think about like the idea where we talk about we're all connected, mediums and psychics and people who can sort of tap into that world. And people talk about getting to a place in meditation where it's similar to things like that.
Hmm.
So I just thought, it's just so well thought out. And I had no idea it went so deep and there were all these metaphors and so many universes.
So many. There's
Tell
so
you.
many of them.
I thought, oh, okay. Let me just there's like five different Windblade universes. Like, I was just like, which one do I pick? Like, how do I know which one is the right one?
Oh my goodness.
I love
Yeah.
Windblade as a character. They're
Blade
great.
is fantastic.
She's so much fun. So
And
much
it-
depth.
Yeah. And the energy you brought to Windblade in the show and in the video games, it was great. And every time I saw Windblade, I got excited. So that was fun.
I
Oh, thank
like
you.
picturing because I first was introduced to her in the comics and like the voice that you performed and like the personality you portrayed, it was like almost exactly what I had in
Yes.
mind too. So it was like fantastic and spot on. Really
Oh
well
my
done.
gosh.
We
What a
really enjoyed it.
compliment. Thank you so much. Yeah, she's that sort of sarcastic, dry delivery really works for her
It
in a
really
way,
does.
She needs to be that calm, steady foundation and so Bumblebee can be sort of all over the place,
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
agree. I agree.
Because
I
if they
think
were
that
two
brings
peas in a
us.
pod,
Go ahead.
nothing would get done.
Yep,
No,
Yeah.
that's true.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Which kind of leads us to our next question. Tell us about the process you went through when you were preparing for the role of Windblade and or RC, because unlike RC, Windblade was a recent created character who's now like over 10 years old, came out in 2014. How did that impact on your preparedness? Preparedness?
Sure. Yeah,
Preparation.
let's go with
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, for the role.
Great question. Windblade I was really excited to learn that she was fan made, which felt like even more of an obligation to do her justice, Because I was like, oh
Mhm.
man, like they really want to see a character like this represented in the universe. So I really want to make sure that I do it well. One of the things I asked for pretty early on was a rendering of Windblade just to be able to see the visuals because they record the voiceover first and then they do the animation. So,
Okay, that makes sense.
yeah. So they were able to send me a rendering of her, which was so helpful. One of the things that they had done was they grounded her. So she didn't have like high heels on anymore. She had more of like a flat foot, which
Oh,
I used.
interesting.
Yeah, they wanted to like defeminize her a little bit, and sort of go against the whole, like, oh, because she's a woman, she has to look a certain way. You know what I mean?
That's
Yes.
So,
cool that they
yeah,
did that.
totally, totally. Well, and like they had May as one of the writers too, so I think that definitely helped.
Fantastic.
And so I really used that image of like, so I plant my feet in the studio when I was recording and really, bring my shoulders back and sort of stand like her, like I had wings, so sort of really having that visual for me helped me physically find her. And then as an actor, if you guys do voiceover and anybody who does voiceover, that you sort of, it's a very physical thing as well. You really have to have the posture of whoever you're speaking and like whoever you're doing the voice for, and because that really informs your delivery and the energy of it. So that's sort of part of what was part of my process for Windblade. And then the director, Lauren, really helped me find the tone of her voice. I think I started a little bit higher than they wanted her. And so we brought her timbre down a little bit. And that's how she got more of a lower tone. And yeah, I think, as I was reading that, because we don't record together, so I didn't even meet Jeremy until we did one of the conventions together. But, I'm in the booth, so I'm really having to use my imagination and I'm reading the lines before me and just picturing what this person is doing for this, what this Autobot is doing in front of me, or it was sort of like a figure it out as I go type thing too. It was a very collaborative process, but super fun. Yeah, I love doing the walla, which is fight noises.
Oh, that's
That's
fun.
great.
That's
That's
great.
awesome.
Yeah, because you're in the booth and I'm not just standing there yelling. I'm like literally pretending to like
Hmm.
slash my sword. So I'm in the booth like a crazy person flailing and like
That's so fun.
It's
and
like
like
how
pretending like an imaginary person is punching me or whatever, like so it's or
Uh-huh.
an imaginary robot is punching me. So, stuff like that. You're like, if there was a camera in here, people would definitely think I'm crazy. So
what would be
That's so
your
fun.
favorite moments or lines?
so it was so long ago. There's not a lot of lines that I remember, but I did have a fan come up to me at the recent TF Con and he gave me some really great quotes. And I was like, oh my God, yes, I love this. So for Windblade, one of the ones he said was, Cybertron is my home and I'm not going to abandon it, which I feel like is her
Yes.
mantra,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
That's something that
Absolutely.
underlies everything that Windblade does, everything she says. She's just driven by wanting to protect her home and the Autobots that live there. And then for RC, he had, I get that you want to shield us from knowledge of the future, but all we care about right now is making sure we have one, which
Oh,
is
that's a
sort of
powerful
along the
one.
same lines.
That one's
Hmm.
really good. I like
That's
that
really
one.
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are definitely some good ones. Thank you to that fan. I don't remember his name, but yeah.
Cool. Well, we've talked about preparing to become Windblade and her scene. Who has been your biggest inspiration to take notes and like see their performance and try to kind of get some information from there?
So it's interesting because I never set out to do voiceover. That's not something that I ever thought about doing. Like I knew I could do voices and different things and that I had vocal, gymnastics, but there was never any one person I was like, oh my gosh, I want to be like that voice actor. However, for some reason, I always think about Cate Blanchett, and I think it was the Marvel movie, the one with the Hemsworth guy.
Thor,
Thor?
Thor, the
Thor,
Dark
yeah, the
World. No,
one,
she did.
wasn't she in a Thor one?
She
Yeah,
was. She
Love and
played
Yes.
the.
not Love and Thunder. That's not.
No, it
Hela?
wasn't that
Uh,
one.
She played like
Oh,
the
I'm
bad
totally
wow.
blanking. She played Hela.
Yeah,
She played
she
Thor's
played
Yeah.
sister.
Yeah.
Thor's
Yeah,
sister.
yeah.
It was Ragnarok.
Ragnarok. It was Ragnarok.
Yeah.
It was
Ragnarok. Oh yeah, I love that movie.
We'll get there
Yeah.
eventually.
We got
The
there.
one,
We
the one
got
with the
there.
hammer in it.
Yes. Wait, no, wait, no.
And
Wait,
all
okay,
of
I
them
get it.
on
That was
it.
a joke. That was a joke. I get
It was great.
it. Yeah, so I think about her because she got her voice so low. Like Kate Blanchett
She
has always
did.
vocally, yeah, she's vocally always been in different places with every character she plays. It's like her
It's
vocally is
amazing.
one of the most incredible actresses I think ever. As far as just actors growing up, definitely Robin Williams and Jim Carrey. Those were two of my biggest influences growing up. I've always loved comedy and comedic actors and people who can do voices and are just like being silly and bringing joy to the world. And they are two of those people.
Incredibly talented.
So
Incredibly talented.
talented. Amy Poehler, Cloris Leachman, who was just, RIP. She growing up, I watched a lot of Mel Brooks films with my dad. And so, Young Frankenstein was something that we watched a lot. And her performance in that is just so funny. And Madeline Kahn, people like that were people I looked up to, mostly comedic actors. But, they've all done projects where you've seen them be emotional too. So, it's multi-dimensional.
That's fun.
Nice to have those ranges.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So we know both of these, the shows that you participated in, both Transformers Cyberverse and Transformers War for Cybertron have ended. But if you got the chance to do an additional season with either of your characters, Windblade or RC, what would you want to do with them? If you got free reign, free creative reign.
I would create another blockbuster movie and make Windblade the lead and
Absolutely.
voice her.
I'm here
Because
for
I
it.
don't know why we haven't put her in one yet.
I don't know
Yeah.
either. She says so much
Such a
to do.
fan
You can do
favorite
so
too.
much with
She's a
her.
city
Yeah.
speaker. Like the potential for
You could
like
do something
that
amazing.
movie.
Have Titans. You could have something
be
massive, like
so
something
cool.
cinematic, right?
You know
It'd
what
be
I
so
mean?
easy to
Like
do.
it's epic. It's epic having someone like her in and they should
Hasbro,
have
get on
her
it, please.
voice.
Yeah,
Yes,
Hasbro.
Hasbro.
Yeah,
That'd be
hashtag
so fun.
tag Hasbro on this.
We will. We will.
For
So
real.
similar along that same vein, if you could voice any other character other than the ones you have performed, who would you pick?
So I think because I love doing so many different types of voices, I really enjoyed how Jeremy got to do all these different voices as Bumblebee in Cyberverse. When Bumblebee lost his voice, it was just like all these different radio stations and different things. So I think that would probably be my number one, just because the script was so much fun.
Yeah.
It was like he would switch the radio station and be like, and now, it was a
It was
blast.
fun. That was fun.
Yeah. And he did all of those voices, by the way. I remember.
Wow,
Oh,
that's
wow, I didn't know
impressive.
that. I could hear it in some of them, but not all of them. Someone
Yeah,
was
he
like, "Oh,
did
they
all
probably
of
just got that clip from somewhere," but I didn't know he did all of them. That's amazing.
Yeah. And I don't remember who told me this. Maybe it was the writers, because I hung out with them a couple of times. But somebody told me that they were actually going to try to cast different people to do the voices. And then one day he was just like, oh, I could do this. And they heard him do them. And he was like, they were like, okay, great.
You're hired
You
again.
can do all the voices. Yeah.
That's amazing.
I also think it would be really cool to do Optimus Prime, be able to open my voice and sound, or not open my voice, open my mouth and sound like that. Could you imagine?
That'd be cool. That'd
That'd
be
be
really
But I
amazing.
funny.
look
That'd be
like
pretty
this,
cool.
but I sound like Optimus Prime. Like that's also really funny to me.
Well,
It's hysterical.
in these two series, Windblade and RC interact with a lot of different other bots. Who would you say is your favorite Transformers character and why?
I mean, this is boring, but Windblade, I really,
That's fair, though. That's such a
Think
fair
about it.
answer.
Yeah.
You know, that's the
Closest
right
to her,
answer.
right?
Yeah.
That's the right
She's
answer.
great.
The right answer.
I know.
Why change?
If I had to do another character, I would probably do Cosmos, because I also had so much fun playing him, and I think Cosmos should have his own spin-off show.
Yes.
And also is just like the comedic relief that Cosmos provides is great.
He's
Like
adorable.
I
He's
feel
so
like people would
sweet.
be very entertained by a
Yes.
Cosmos show.
You're just a sweet little bot.
He's just a
Mhm.
sweet little bot. He's just gets himself into this really bad situation
He does, poor guy.
innocently. Yeah.
Hasbro, get on it. Cosmo Adventures, please.
Please.
Yes,
Oh
that'd
Let's
be
my
go.
so
God.
cute.
That's a
Oh my
great title
goodness.
too.
Fun.
That is. Thank you,
100.
Keely.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So our next question is, If you have any, your top three favorite toy figures, they don't have to be Transformers related. Maybe if you've done another project, you have a figure of that character. But if you have them, top three favorite toy characters or toy figures.
Hmm. Well, I used to have a Little Mermaid growing up.
That's
Yes,
That's
awesome.
let's
great.
go.
Yes.
Yes.
I used to have a Little Mermaid growing up, so definitely that. I also used to have this really creepy stuffed Pee Wee Herman doll that you pulled the string in the back.
Oh, no.
And you'd be like, I know you ever die, you'd see weird stuff. And then like I remember I came home one time and was playing with it and it was like dead and it was like
Oh
Oh
my
my
goodness.
gosh.
it was super creepy. That and then I had something called Popple when I was younger that I really liked. I guess that's not really an action figure, but
We'll count it. We'll count it.
somebody recently showed me at TFCon the new Legacy Windblade
Ooh, that one is nice.
figure, which is so nice. I really like
That's
that one a
great.
lot. And I also, some of those vendors had awesome Windblade NRC figures.
Yes.
Like, they're like a foot tall and they're, beautifully executed,
Yes.
and expensive, but
Yes, yes, definitely
Understatement.
expensive.
yes.
All right, moving us along to our next question. Do you have any side projects you are currently working on that you're allowed to talk about? Or they don't have to be Transformers related, just something that you're wanting to get out there to the audio waves.
Yeah, so I actually just heard from Hasbro right now. They're going to give me the rights. I'm going to go ahead and do that feature starring Windblade. So that's coming up.
Yes.
Great. Let's go. That was
I'm here
fast.
for it. I'm here for it.
That was fast. Just manifest that, put it out in the universe. Yeah, no.
Windblade forever.
Windblade
Let's go.
forever. Hashtag
We have
Windblade
an early
forever.
scoop. So there you go, listeners.
There you go.
You heard it here first.
So I have a trailer for a pilot that my friend has created that I think is going to do really well. So I'm filming that in February, I believe. And then I have a feature film that I shot a year ago that's sort of, they've applied to some festivals and they're waiting to see where it'll premiere. But there's a lot of like
Oh,
media
fun.
promotion for it right now. So that'll be coming out soon. So yeah,
Ooh.
That's exciting.
it
That
is.
is
It's super
exciting.
exciting. I can't wait to see it. I haven't seen it yet.
That's great.
Soon,
They
hopefully.
won't let me see it yet. Yeah. So
Oh my goodness.
it's good though. I'm sure it's good because I'm in it. So
Of course, of course. This is
Of
automatic
course, of
A plus.
course.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly.
Well, we've talked about RCs, your favorite figures, your process, but let's talk about you now. What is something no one knows about you that you wish more people did
Yeah,
know?
that's a really interesting question. I don't know that no one knows this about me. People that are close to me know this, but I think the general public does not, which is that I really just want everyone to get along and have fun. Like
Fair.
I'm one of those
Yes.
people.
100%.
Yeah, I just really make an effort wherever I am to make sure that people are seen and heard. And like, I usually introduce myself to, like, if I'm working on a project, I introduce myself to everyone on set, because I just want it to be a happy, loving environment and fun. I really enjoy lifting other people up. I don't know, I feel like sometimes in our profession, there are people that can make it all about them, but I've really found that the more you open yourself up and like include everyone and make it a collaborative space, that not only is what you're doing elevated, but just the energy and the vibration is just so much more conducive for creating in general. And it's fun. Like we all just want to play. I'm pretty sure that's why most people got into acting, is like they really enjoyed playing pretend. So I mean,
That's what
Yeah.
it is, isn't
yeah,
it?
but I also just mean in the world, like wherever I am in the world.
Of course. Yeah, that's a really cool sentiment. And it's nice to hear that you're trying and working on inspiring that where you go. And it's really encouraging to hear that because there is negativity anywhere that you look. So it's nice when people are trying to inspire positivity and creativity instead.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed. And it's, you don't know, everyone's dealing with something in their life. You don't know what it is. So it's much easier to be kind to someone than to, be mean. It's just
Yeah.
it's an energy
Absolutely.
thing, right? You put that energy out, it's going to come back to you.
Well, like, be kind,
Absolutely.
rewind.
Be kind, rewind.
Yeah. Be kind,
100%.
rewind. There you go, Onyx. Our next question is, do you have any questions for us? If you don't, That's fine, but we like to open up the floor and make sure that you have the opportunity to ask us any questions.
Why, yes, I do, in fact.
Oh my goodness.
Uh-oh, the hot seat is
Whoa, we're not
on.
expecting this.
Get ready. Now, I'm wondering, do you have any favorite moments from Cyberverse or characters or lines or anything from the show?
Ooh, good question. I need to think about that. I wasn't ready for a question. Oh,
Uh-oh.
goodness.
I wasn't either. I think one of my the whole show is really wonderfully done. And I feel like each season they kept building off of things they had done prior, and so just kept getting better and better and more complex. And I really loved that.
Mm.
But I think one of the initial things that really drew me into the show was you start off, Bumblebee has no idea what he's doing. You know, he's completely lost his memory.
Mm.
And Windblade shows up. She's like, "What are you doing, bro? Like we have work to do. What are you talking about?" And he just doesn't know. And I think it was a really fun hook to get you involved. Oh, we haven't done this before. This is fun. So I really liked that. And it was a really great hook into the story.
Yeah.
And it kept me watching.
Yeah.
I think I liked the movie ending. I think it was a movie or it was like a 4-part episode.
Mhm.
Like the end of the season. It's the one that had like Trypticon in it and stuff like that. It also had the Dinobots in it.
Mhm.
I might be biased. I like Dinobots. I
Me
also
too.
really enjoyed the swoop in that
Yes.
episode
That swoop was
movie.
so cool.
It was great. I think that's my favorite
Yeah,
moment.
I like oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I like the interactions between Windblade and Bumblebee throughout the series.
Mhm.
And like I think at one point, if I'm remembering, I saw this a long time ago, but if I remember it, I think Windblade gets into like a spirit form and it's like trying to guide
Mhm.
Bumblebee
Mhm.
for a while. So those were good interactions that I really enjoyed it, and just kind of seeing Windblade come into her own as well. So that was very fun.
Yes.
Of course, of course.
Yeah, well, it's interesting to hear from the fans, right? Because like I know things from from the production side, from like us creating it and what they were going for. So it's always interesting to hear people's feedback on like what they liked about it. And what did you feel like Windblade and Bumblebee had more of a brother-sister relationship or more of a romantic relationship in the
Brother and sister from
Brother,
my point
sister,
of view.
from my point of view
I thought
also.
it was romantic, but
Oh my gosh. They just
I'm a
seem
You
romantic.
think
like
everything's romantic. That's
Yeah.
biased
You?
to
Okay,
you.
you're one of those. Okay.
I want true love, you know?
It
He's
felt
trying to ship
like
everyone.
he does. It felt like one of those relationships where they've been really good friends for a really long time, so the line's a little bit blurred, but they're both just really comfortable in each other's presence, and they just
Mhm.
enjoy being around each other. And they teased each other, you know, kind of like close friends or siblings, but I felt like it could have been that way, but that wasn't really the way they were going with it. But I also don't know because I don't know what you guys were doing on the production side.
Yeah, they wanted it
Do you have an insight?
Yes, I do.
Let's go.
Let's hear it.
They wanted them to get married. No, I'm just kidding. They wanted.
No,
I know. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I
Look
had
what
to
they
give you
took
that
away from you,
moment,
Kilobyte.
that moment of hope. No, they
destroyed
actually
me.
they were really going for a brother sister type love there that they had said that they really hadn't seen before. There were a lot of things that they were trying to do in this series that they hadn't done before, and that was one of them. So, but I kind of like that it's ambiguous that people can have like that conversation though. You know,
Mhm.
Fans will be
Yeah.
fans.
fans will be
They will.
fans. Yeah, go for it. Yeah, because there's like Team Bumblebee Windblade romantic, and there's Team Bumblebee Windblade brother sister. I've definitely
Team,
seen
what is it?
people who are both
Bumbleblade,
sides. Yeah.
Windbee.
What did you say,
And
Windbee?
both teams are
I say
friends.
Bumble-
Bumbleblade or
Oh
Windbee.
my God.
That's great.
Oh my God,
Those
we
are
should
great.
start a new movement. I love
Yeah, we
that.
need
Those are
t-shirts.
so great. Oh my God, can we please make t-shirts? I'm in. Love a
Oh my
t-shirt. I
gosh.
love a t-shirt with a
Wait.
catchphase.
Wait,
Oh
is that
wow.
how Trax was born?
Oh no.
Oh,
It's a flying car mode? All right, anyway, I think we should move to the next question. But
click the link for the t-shirts. We'll be selling them.
yeah, there we
All
go.
profits will
Yes.
go to benefiting the feature film starring Windblade.
Yes, 100%.
That's
great.
awesome.
So, Jessica,
Hmm.
where can the listeners find you? On social media, website?
Yeah.
What
So
else?
I do have a website, but all the updates on everything I'm doing is mostly going to be on my social media. So it's at the Jess DG. So THE Jess JESSDIGI. And yeah, that's on the social medias.
Nice.
Go on to
Thank you
Very
so much. We'll
kind.
be
I
putting
like
that
it.
in the descriptions below for you listeners. Fantastic. Who has the last question, I think?
I
It's not
believe
me.
I do.
It's Kilo.
if Windblade and Bumblebee got married, what? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
No, no, he's going off script.
Where would they go on honeymoon? No, I'm kidding. Are there words of wisdoms or something special you would like to say to the listener?
First off, I would just like to say they probably would just do a tour of the universe. They would, the
Yes,
honeymoon would just
100%.
go on and on until there was more crime to fight, or there was another
Of course.
time.
That's part of the honeymoon
Yeah,
is crime fighting.
right, exactly. It's like
Yes,
part
yes.
of the whole package. And obviously, Energon, like maybe a place that has like a flight of Energon where there's different flavors of Energon.
Oh my
Ooh.
gosh.
You could order that. Okay, anyway. Words of wisdom. Let's see. I get a lot of people coming up to me at the convention saying they want to do voiceover and showing me their own animations they've created. And what I would say to them and what I want to say to anybody now is just like keep expressing yourself. The world needs your voice and your art, and it will speak to someone. If you think your voice doesn't matter, it's been done before, but you feel called to do it, like there's something inside of you that's like, I would do this. And then there's that voice that talks you out of it. You should trust the voice that's telling you to do something and create something, because if it makes you happy, it's going to speak to someone. And if it makes you happy in the process, it lifts up your vibration. And when you're happy and your vibration is lifted up, you lift up the vibration of the planet, right? So if you're happy and you have an interaction with someone else, makes them happier, so find the time to do what you love, because it's honestly, it's for the better good of the planet. It's not selfish. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just do it. And also, there's so many fans that are creating animation and want to do voiceover. And so I think that you guys should all connect with each other and make stuff with each other. That's also because so many of you are like, I want to do stuff, but I don't know how to get into it. It's like find somebody who's making their own animated stuff and do voices for them, and create together. So that's also like a really great way to make a new community.
It is, and it's super fun. The Transformers community is very inclusive and friendly as far as fandoms go, which is really nice.
Yeah, I love going to TFCon. It's like one of my favorite experiences.
I'm a little biased, but I also agree.
Yeah, it's such a love fest, which is not what I was expecting. I did my first one a couple years ago, and I was just like so surprised at how like they like take care of you. They're very just like sweet and excited to be there. And I don't know. I don't know. I never pictured myself doing anything like this. So it's just been really, really sweet to get to experience that in my life.
Yeah, no,
It's a good time. And we will look
What a
forward to
wonderful
meeting
message.
you again at a future
Yes.
TFCon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go.
Yeah.
There's one next year.
Same time next
What is
There's
it?
two next year.
Well, there's a
Yeah,
couple.
Yes,
Chicago.
yeah.
Well, LA
But
and Chicago.
the
but
quickest one is March.
Yeah, that's
Mar-
LA,
L-
right?
Los. Yeah,
Yes.
that's the big one. That one's always crazy
I
busy.
love that one. That was my first TFCon, and I had a great time.
Wow,
Oh,
that's a
that's
big one to
great.
jump into.
Yeah. They had the cars outside, which was awesome,
Yes.
Yes.
which I had never seen before. So that was really
Well,
do
That's
it.
awesome.
moving us to the end of the podcast, I want to say thank you so much, Jessica, for joining us on
Yes,
here
thank
and
you.
being harassed by all of our questions.
Mhm.
My
Hopefully you
pleasure.
had fun.
I did.
And thank you, listeners, for tuning in. Until next time, till all are one.
Till
all are
our one.
one.
Till all are one.